Have you ever tried to hit a knockdown shot into the wind and been unsuccessful? Or have you ever hit a golf shot that you're hitting into the wind and it just balloons and it doesn't seem like you can ever get it to the green? I have a solution for you. I want to teach you how to hit a knockdown shot. What are the things you need to do to execute a proper knockdown shot and make it a reliable shot you can use every day on the golf course? We're going to discuss that here. Here we go. Welcome to episode 3 of the Wade Fullingham Golf Show, where I teach you unmatched strategies to create a consistent golf game, enjoy the game more, and develop epic practice plans that allow you to shoot lower scores. Let's discuss how to hit this knockdown shot. How can you use this shot to flight it below the wind, be more consistent, and hit more greens? Because in my opinion, I think it's better to flight the ball lower than it is to hit it higher, especially here in West Texas. Now, if you live somewhere where the greens are real firm, maybe even Bermuda greens, you like to hit the ball high. I get it, and it's not as windy there. But here in West Texas, it's windy. Greens are usually a little softer here. My go-to shot is honestly a knockdown shot, just because it fits for my location. And most pins are middle to back. There's not as many front pins, so I can usually flight it to the front of the green, middle of the green, and run it back to the hole. So let me walk you through the principles of hitting a good knockdown shot. So let's switch clubs here for a second. So I have an 8-iron. In just a second, I'm going to pull up Trackman, and I have a par 3 on there that we're going to hit into, and I'm going to show you the trajectory difference between a normal shot and a knockdown shot. So let's talk about those principles. Well, number one, to flight the ball lower, we have to reduce the spin rate and we have to decrease the loft at impact. So how we decrease spin rate is by decreasing the loft at impact, having less loft, and then also swinging smoother or essentially a little slower. Because the harder you swing, the more club head speed you put behind the ball, the more backspin you're going to create. So into the wind, you don't need to swing harder, you just need to swing smoother. I don't want to say swing slow either. Be aggressive, but you're going to swing smoother. Okay, don't swing harder because it's only going to balloon more because you're creating more spin, more speed, which equals more spin. So we want to de-loft the club and we want to smooth out the golf swing so we're not adding any extra spin. Okay, so that's, understand that principle. Now, as far as the technique and the setup changes, well, let's go over that. Ball position. Put the ball back 1.5 balls back from its original position. I'll say that again. Move the ball 1 to 2 balls back from its original position. 2 is quite a bit, but 1 to 2, somewhere in there from its original position. So if you have a long iron, don't put it on the back foot. That's the most common thing I see is to hit a knockdown shot, they put that on their back foot. That's too far, you're gonna struggle, it's gonna be too steep, the ball's not gonna get in the air. Okay, so let's say this is a 5-iron, I'm gonna play a 5-iron right here. I'm gonna move it about almost middle, okay? I'm not moving it back, but it's a middle. Vice versa, this is an 8-iron, it's gonna be just a little bit back of center, okay? Now, next component. I put more pressure on my lead leg. So I'm actually going to lean more onto this lead leg. I'm putting about 65 to 70% of my pressure on this lead leg. That allows me to get more through the ball and it helps me de-loft the club through impact, and that way I'm not gonna be hanging back and throwing loft underneath the ball. So just a little bit more pressure than I normally would. My normal setup is about 60-40. So this is about 65, 70% on a knockdown shot, all right? Next, I have more forward shaft lean. Now, depending on how low I want to hit the shot, I'll move this around. So if I just want to hit it a little bit lower, my hands are a little bit more forward than normal. If I want to hit it significantly lower, I move my hands all the way to the middle of my thigh if I'm really trying to knock it down. All right. The final piece, which is arguably one of the most important pieces, because you can have all the setup stuff right, but if you don't do this next part right, you're going to struggle. So the next part is rotation and then holding off the finish. So when we come through, we want to make sure we rotate the body, because if we stop rotating, we're going to add loft and impact and hit it really high. We want to make sure that loft, the club, as it comes into the ball, is coming in flatter like this, because if the handle or my body slows down too quick, the handle's going to pitch back and then we're going to add all that loft back into the ball. So we want to make sure the handle is leading, and to do that, the arms, the chest, the hips all have to rotate past contact. So we're going to go here, and then we're gonna hold off the finish. Because to be able to hold off the finish, the upper body and lower body have to be more dominant in this motion, because if the arms are too dominant, you're gonna release and you're not gonna be able to hold off that finish. So that's why we like to say hold off the finish, because it gets your upper body and lower body incorporated more into the movement, which then helps de-loft the club through impact, okay? So those are the principles. Make sure to write those down on a little card so you can have those when you're ready to hit a knockdown shot. Walk through those principles. And something I would even say is add those slowly. Okay, don't add them all at once, just add them slowly. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throw Trackman on the screen, and I'm gonna explain this again, and I wanna show you how to hit a knockdown shot. Now, first of all, I'm just gonna hit a stock swing. Okay, just a stock shot into this hole so you can see some of the numbers on how high a normal stock shot goes. So I have an 8-iron here. Okay, I'm just gonna hit a normal stock 8-iron into this hole. Okay, let's see how that is. Pretty decent. Get a little left. It's a hair short. Ooh, close, close. Mishit that just a hair. Okay, so 34 yards in the air. Launch angle was 22.6. So remember those two numbers, 34 yards in the air, 22.6 launch. Okay, I'm actually gonna hit one more just so I can get it a little bit higher on the face so that I get the true trajectory of the shot. I feel like I hit that maybe one groove low. Okay, that was better hit on the face. Definitely higher. Okay, a little bit better shot. Man, that's a tough pin location right there. 38 feet, or 38 yards in the air, 23.5. So 38 height, 23.5. So we gotta remember those numbers. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch clubs. I'm gonna switch to a 7-iron. I'm going to swing smoother. Okay, not slower, but just smoother. I'm not gonna get more aggressive at it. Most people get more aggressive when they're hitting in the wind, thinking they have to hit it harder to get there. Just club up. So you may have to club up 2 clubs. Now I'm not hitting into any more wind here. I'm just trying to flight the ball lower to the same situation. So you may have to go up 2 clubs, and that's cool. So here we go. Ball is gonna be just slightly back of center, because I usually play the 7-iron center to slightly forward, so it's gonna be middle to slightly back here. Okay, 65, 70% on my lead leg. Hands are gonna be a little more forward than normal. And then I'm gonna hold off my finish. It has one groove low on the face, so maybe not the best contact, but you're gonna see, turned out okay. That is a tough pin location. That slope is not helping me out here. So you're gonna see right there, even though I hit that a little low on the face, 28 yards in the air, 17.1, so significantly lower. And I didn't swing harder, okay? It carried a little further, because obviously I have more club, but I'm definitely not trying to kill it, because I don't need to, because I already clubbed up. I'm letting the club do the work to cut through the wind and not trying to actually force the ball through the wind. I'm just using common sense here. Okay, I think that was a pretty good shot. Significantly lower. I crushed that one. Okay, I did hit that super solid, so it did carry a little further. But look at these numbers here. So 34, it was lower, was it? I mean, I hit that a little higher on the face. Like I said, I crushed it. But and look at the launch angle though. So that shot cut a lot more through the wind. So use these principles to hit more greens, because honestly, if I give you a golf ball, and let's say you're 50 yards away from the green, and I said, hey, there's a flag on there. I want you to land it as close to the flag as possible. Are you gonna throw it as high as you can in the air and try to land it on the spot? Or are you gonna throw it right at it? 99% of people say they're gonna throw it right at it, because the more you get it going towards the target and not so much up, the easier it is to control distance, the easier it is to hit a green. So try using this knockdown shot, not just in the wind, but if you got a middle or back pin, then land a ball in the middle and let it release back to the hole. I think this is a great way to play golf. I think you'll hit more greens this way because you're not swinging as hard. You're using more body rotation, which then stabilizes the club face. I think it's gonna make you a lot better ball striker, and I think you're gonna hit more greens when you master this. Try this out. I think it's gonna help you. But before you go, I wanna offer you a free course I have, a free gift. It's my 3 keys to creating a consistent golf swing. And you can do it in just 15 minutes a day. You can develop a consistent golf swing with 3 things. Checking 3 different positions within your club face to make sure that you have these 3 positions correct so you can square up the club face more consistently. correct contact errors. So if you're having really bad toe heel hits, I'm going to show you how to fix those. And then creating a proper release pattern that allows the face to release square more often, so you're not having the shots that miss right, left. You create a more consistent shot pattern. So check that out. The link is below. Besides that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time. Peace.